All right, so what are we going to say?
I don't know. Isn't this supposed to be an intro for the road trip?
Yeah, it's a road trip. We're going to Houston.
Yay!
So we're going from our house just a little south of Fort Worth. We're going down to Houston, Texas for the weekend. We're going to check out the Space Center Houston, which the rest of the country knows as Johnson Space Center. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah,
we have an
that's the
event on
place.
Sunday down in Houston that we're going to, and that's the reason for the trip. So we figured we'd document another Bolt road trip just for fun, just for giggles. This is a short one. All told, it's going to be a little under 600 miles. The route that we're taking to get there is about 294 miles, which is just outside the range of the Bolt if we were able to leave the house with 100% state of charge. But we were not, because I had to go to work today.
It's a weekday. It's Friday.
And I had to do my work commute, and the car got a little bit of extra mileage on it, and I didn't quite get it to 100% before I left this morning. So we left our house with a 69% state of charge and 173 miles of predicted range. Now, it's best to not run the Bolt all the way down into to zero and charge to 100 and try to do that. It actually is faster to make multiple charging stops than to try to get it all in once. So we're following a better route planner. We're going to make 3 fairly quick charging stops on the way down, and our first stop is going to be at an Electrify America in Ennis, Texas.
Alrighty.
Shall we hit the road?
Let's hit the road.
Here we are at the crossroads of life. Must a decision be made? Got my old man glasses on here. We're in Ennis, Texas for our first charge, and we're probably going to be here for about 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to head on the road. But look behind you. There's a black Mach-E and a black ID4. We've got a Mustang Mach-E and a Volkswagen ID4 over there, and neither one of them have anybody in them. They're probably all in the Walmart, because we're at an Electrify America, and there's the Walmart. Check this out, though. They've got the new chargers. These are the new Electrify America stations here, and the available one over there is a 350, and parking a Bolt at a 350 just isn't fun.
It's not polite.
It's not polite. So opening up my Electrify America app, and we're at the Walmart in Ennis, Texas. Got it selected, and this should be station number 1, which is right here. It says it's available, a 150 CCS and a 50 kilowatt CHAdeMO, but it's this side and my charge port's on that side, so I'm not sure if it's going to reach. I'm going to try. So I got to plug in first and then swipe to charge. Oh, this is going to be fun. You might not be able to get through there. Here, let's do this. Oh, oh no. I'm not gonna make it. Hey, that's too much pressure on the charge port. If I go, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come in, kind of go over the line, because, it's not a good setup to park a Bolt. We're only gonna be here 10 minutes.
It's okay, you can do it.
I'm gonna use maybe I should use the 350. What do you think?
I think you should pull into the...
Okay, I'll back up and I'll just go a little bit more over the line. Let's try that. All right. Oh, that's much better. Much, much better. Of course, now I got to walk around the car the long way because I'm too close to it. All right, plugged into charger 1, connecting to vehicle, swipe to charge, and processing payment. It just kicked on. I don't think we ever mentioned this, but get a shot of this. It says Electrify America, a Volkswagen Group of America company. So just in case you heard people talking about how Electrify America is Volkswagen and wondered why the Volkswagen ID4 gets 3 years of free charging on Electrify America, that's why. Volkswagen owns these. And near the end of this trip, we're going to stop at a completely different kind of charging station called a FreeWire that is paid for by the Volkswagen settlement that they had to pay all the states and stuff. So here we go. I've got Welcome Luke, Electrify America Pass Plus. The rate here is 15 cents a minute. And I hit continue, but it's an older Electrify America station. And so it's going to be a little laggy. But it's screaming. Okay, yeah, we're charging. 53 kilowatts. It looks like we were at 41% when we started charging, and we've started going now. Got 0.6 of a kilowatt. We're at peak speed, so we can get in there. We were getting 53 kilowatts a second ago, but now it's 52, and this is about as fast as a Bolt can handle, whereas these cars next to me are probably getting over 100 right now, or even more than that. So we started at 41%, and I don't know how long we need to charge. I will look that up. What is our next stop? Pull up my route plan. I'll just do Electrify America Madisonville. Someone just commented on our Tennessee road trip.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't read what it said. Okay, the Electrify America station in Madisonville is 111 miles. I thought it was closer than it is. We've got 111 miles to go until the next charging stop. So we're here until we get to 161 miles of predicted range. That's the system that we used on the trip in Tennessee, was what we need plus 50 on the guessometer before we unplug. So the target's going to be 161. And when I say 161, I'm meaning 161 miles, and we're at 111. So we need to get 50 miles of range. It's going to get us over 50%, and at 50%, the Bolt will ramp down. So we'll get it up to 161 miles of range, and then we'll go. We're not going to charge to 100% because this car slows down after 50% state of charge, and it will take too long. If we did charge to 100% and stayed here the entire time, we wouldn't need to charge again until we got to our hotel in Houston. But we're going to need to stop for ourselves between here and there, and it breaks the trip up nicely, and it will actually take less time making 2 more charge stops than how long it would take to stay here and wait till the car got to 100%, because of how slow the Bolt does that 50 to 100, especially the 80 to 100. It's really slow. So get back when we unplug. So I just checked, and this Mach-E is only pulling 75 kilowatts on one of these brand new 350 kilowatt chargers. And I know that that's not near peak speed, and it's not at 80%. It's screen showing 61%. I can just see the screen from here, and the ID4 over there is at 67% and is pulling about 79 kilowatts. It's also a 350 kilowatt charger. And we're pulling 49 kilowatts on this old one with our Bolt. We are going to start ramping down pretty soon. Do a quick check. Hey Rachel, how you doing? Doing okay? If you can see in there, I'll do this real quick. We're up to 122 miles and we've been charging for 5 minutes. So I had said that we'd be here for 10 minutes or so. It's probably going to be closer to 20. But we'll see. We'll go in, we'll go to the bathroom and see where we're at when we come back out. We had a BMW i3 show up and now this charger is completely full. I was wrong. I thought this was at a Walmart. It's at a Mar. Disadvantage to this installation in the way that it's built is they left the old charger because it still has the CHAdeMO plug for Leafs to be able to use it to fast charge. And they charge right at the front of the car. And with our car, with the charge plug on the driver's side, we had to come in at an angle and leave this much empty space in the spot. But luckily there's room on the sides. And we were able to not encroach on the other parking space, which was good. But the charger is so far to the right-hand side of the car that if I had it on the driver's side rear or the passenger side front, it wouldn't be so much of a reach and we wouldn't have had to jockey the car around a little bit. Right now, almost there. Showing 159 miles of predicted range, and I want to get to 161, so we're going to unplug here in just about a minute or so. A minute, maybe two. 160. If we waited another 25 minutes according to the car, we would be at 80%, and we'd have about 200 miles of range, which would almost be enough to get us to our hotel. But we're not going to do that because it's not going to be enough, and we'd really have to charge when we got there. And I don't like going too far down on fumes. I'm not I'm not as experienced with this as someone like Kyle Connor on Out of Spec is, as far as how he can do it. But it should be there now. Let's see. Yep, 162 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and walk over here and unplug. I'm so close to the charger, I had to come this way. So let's see, I'm gonna push stop. We went from 41% to 64%, 14.84 kilowatt hours delivered, charging time 19 minutes, cost $2.84. There's the whole rundown, 14.9140. We're at 64%, we started at 41. Costs are updating. It's one thing about the older machines is they lag. Due to a network issue, your price cannot be shown at this time. So 19 minutes at 15 cents a minute. Before I unplugged and stopped the charge, it said $2.49, so that plus tax. I'll get an email receipt from Electrify America before we get to the next charger in Madisonville. And probably talking a lot at this charger, even though we were only here for 19 minutes. It was long enough to plug in, do the video clips that we got, go in, use the bathroom, and we're ready to go. So we're back on the road. The next stop is an Electrify America, our last Electrify America for this trip, and that will be in Madisonville, Texas. It's gonna be dark. Sorry. We are in Madisonville, Texas at a not super center Walmart. It's just a regular old Walmart with these four little Electrify America stations right here by the side of the road. We're up here at a 150. We're rolling in at around 10 or 11% battery. The car is showing 25 miles of projected range. I'm going to use the Tennessee system that we came up with and go with the charge handle that is in better looking shape. Plug it in Second time I haven't checked plug share before I got here, and I hope I don't regret that. Let's go into the Electrify America app. Go to where we're at, Madisonville. 2 of 4 chargers are available. This is charger number
1. This is
charger number 1, and it's available, but that one's not. We pulled up to that 350 there when we got, and it's showing as unavailable on the app.
Okay.
So, but charger 1 is fine. And yes, I picked the right handle. So it's like every time, if one of the handles is really scuffed and the other one's not, go with the one that's not scuffed. And, boom. There we go. I don't need directions. Start a charge. This charger is not, it says the charger is not in range. I'm plugged into it, and it's saying the charger is not in range. Let me close this app, and I'll try again. We'll unplug. And now we will plug in again. Go into Electrify America, let the app load. Madisonville, right here. Now it says 3 of 4 chargers available. And swipe to start charge. So yeah, I guess I had the app still on. It's already kicking on. So that's a lesson. I must learn to close the app when I leave the charging station and then reopen it cold when I get. It would have worked fine. Initiating charge, so let's take a look at what it's given us here as soon as it kicks on. It's gonna get there eventually. I promise it's gonna get there. And they've even got this little credit card reader. It has recognized me. 15 cents a minute member rate. Continue. My phone says we are at 10% charge right now. Charging, not getting any juice. Okay, there we are. We are at 50 kilowatts of current at the moment. At a 10% state of charge. Now we're up, got here at a 10, we're at 11 already. And now I got to figure out how much further we've got to go. So question for you.
Okay.
According to the trip plan, we have one more charge stop tonight before we get to the hotel in 69 miles.
Okay.
At an EV Go in Spring, Texas, just on the north side of Houston.
Okay.
That's 69 miles away. After that, since we're going to southeast of Houston to Webster, where the Space Center is, that's another 49 miles after this charger in Spring. Houston's, that's how big Houston is. So we could stay here until this gets to 170 miles, have this be the last charge of the night, and have about 120 miles to go, just a little bit longer than this leg we just took, and just have this be the last charge. Or we can stay here till we've got enough to get to that EV Go and charge there. I don't know if, I mean, by the time we get to 50% and this car starts to throttle down, we'll have enough. I mean, we're really low now. Do we just want to have an extra charger for show people that you can road trip on chargers other than Electrify America? What do you think?
I mean, I'm all for getting to the hotel a little earlier. What was that?
As a guy in a truck saying boogity boogity, or boogly boogly. It was hard to see what he was saying.
Oh,
anyway.
The camera. Anyway, go ahead.
So we'll figure it out. I'm gonna pull up some directions here. If we go to that EV Go, EV Go, Sawdust Road, Spring, Texas. It is 69 miles away, and I still want to get that 50-mile buffer. And the car says 32 miles of range now. 69 plus 50 means 119 miles to get there. to get that much power, we're probably going to be here for about a half an hour at least.
Okay.
And to get that other 50, we might be here another 20 minutes. But if we go to that EV Go and charge, we may only have to, well, it would be there for the same amount of time probably.
Okay.
So I don't know, let's see how long it takes us to get to that magic mark of 119, 120 miles.
Okay.
Okay, so fun fact, I know better than this, but I've been driving my normal work commute, which is different, slowing down, country roads, stop signs, stoplights occasionally, a little bit of freeway. And from our home to that first charge stop was a lot of the same type of road. And the Getsometer on these bolts, it judges your most recent driving history. So my most recent driving history has been over 4 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency. My commute yesterday, I think I did the whole commute at like 4.5, 4.7, or that was 2 days ago, 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour. And at that charge stop in Ennis, we were at 4.2. And a quarter of a mile later, we got on Interstate 45 heading south with a 75 mile an hour speed limit. 111 miles of 75 miles per hour. The car was like, wow, we need a lot more power right now. And so after the first 55 miles, my 50 miles of buffer had gone down to less than 25. So I dropped our speed down to 70 for about 45 miles. And when we were with 10 miles to go, we still had a 25 mile buffer. I kicked it back up to 75. Now the Getsometer should be a little bit more accurate because now it's got this interstate speeds and the 75 mile an hour limit as part of its memory. So we'll check in here in a little bit and see what's up with the charge. This is a pretty dark parking lot. It's a very small parking lot for a Walmart.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, hey, there you go. This is Madisonville, Texas. We are at, well, it's 35 minutes left until 80%. We're not going that long. There we go. We're at 44% state of charge. We're still getting a 54 kilowatt charging speed sustained, and we should be able to do that for about another 6%. We've been here for 23 minutes, and so far this has cost us $3.43. We picked up 20.8 kilowatt hours of power. Turn my light on. And if I go over and look at the car is showing me with 103 miles of projected range. So about another 16, 17 more miles of charge to go. And we'll be on the road. I figure maybe by the time this gets to 30 minutes on the charger, we'll be okay. So we're at 24 minutes now, and we'll check in when it's time to go. We just hit 50% state of charge, and this Electrify America is still giving us 53 kilowatts. And this time I really did go on PlugShare to look at this EV Go that is in Spring that I was talking about, that we don't really have to stop at, but if we ramp down too far, we should be able to get max charging speed there. It's right off the freeway, and so it would be faster for us to make another charging stop than wait here. And I checked PlugShare, and what I get is that at the last batch of check-ins, it hasn't been charging faster than 34, 35 kilowatts. So we're gonna wait here until this goes down to about 30 kilowatts and see what our range is. And there's a chance that this might be our last charge stop. There are plenty of other options to charge at because we're getting into Houston at that point. But a lot of them are at businesses that are going to be closed at this hour. So like Harley dealerships and a Camping World and all of that stuff. Yeah, 3 Harley dealerships, a Nissan dealership, a Mercedes-Benz dealership, JLR Clear Lake DC wall box. Not authorized to use. Get into League City, and there's an EV Go at a Cracker Barrel, but that's past or very near the exit that we're Now that's just past the exit of where we're going to for our hotel. So getting to that one, we might as well just go to the hotel and plug in at the overnight charger. We picked the hotel, it's a Fairfield Inn by Marriott because it's got level 2 chargers there that are free. And I got this email yesterday that said, go ahead and check in. And I check in, put in my name, and it has a confirmation number, but it can't find our reservation in the system, which is weird. So hopefully that goes smooth when we get there, because it's not going smooth through their email. But if we can't charge at the hotel, there are several chargers available in the parking lot at Space Center Houston, so we can park there while we're at the Space Center and charge while we're inside. But I'd rather charge overnight. So we're down to 52 kilowatts now, 51, it just went down to 51. And we're over 50%, 54% state of charge. And we're still getting good speeds for a Bolt. We're getting good speeds for a Bolt. And we're at 126 miles of estimated range. Let me see real quick what our distance is to our hotel. We are 118 miles from the hotel from where we're sitting right now. So if this gets to 168, if we can get 41 more miles of range, then we've got a 50-mile buffer to get where we're going for the night, and we can skip that EV Go charger that's only charging at 34, 35, and right now we're getting faster speeds than that. So it makes more sense to stop here and charge here, because it's only going to cost us another maximum of $2. And the EV Go, we've got credits from GM, so it wouldn't cost us anything, but we'd only save like $2. So we'll see where we're at when this charger slows down to 34 or less. Well, there's kind of the magic number. We have 119 miles to go to the hotel, and we now have 169 miles of projected range. So I am going to unplug. 34 kilowatts, that was the speed reported on PlugShare of this EV Go in spring that we were heading to. And now we have enough range to get to our hotel and still have about a 50-mile plus buffer. We've been here for 48 minutes, picked up 39 kilowatts. I'm going to hit stop. $7.83 after tax, member savings $2.07. 39.529 kilowatt hours of power. We started at 10%, got to 73%, and we won't need to charge again for the rest of the trip. So our next stop is our hotel, Fairfield Inn and Marriott in Webster, Texas, about 119 miles away. And right as I turned the camera off, sitting here this whole time with nobody else, an Audi e-tron pulls up to charge. On the road we go. We are at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Webster, Texas, and this is the reason why we picked this hotel. We've got destination charging, and we're going to plug in before we check into the hotel. I'm going to hand the camera to Rachel. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Yeah, she is here, I swear. And
He didn't murder me and put me in the trunk.
what I've got is car scanner, because you can see there's nothing on this that's going to tell me if it's charging.
There's no screen.
I mean, the car will tell me when it's charging, but it's got the little retractable, and I'll just go click, and something clicked on there. The car is already immediately kicked on charging. And we're up to, well, there's 4, 5, 6, and we've leveled off at 6.8 kilowatts. How much range do we have left? We have 50 miles of range. So,
Which was your plan? That was the buffer you wanted.
good, which was exactly the buffer. It worked out perfect. Which means that we've got. I'm going to turn the charge limit down.
Okay.
And we'll be at our charge limit in the morning. We'll actually be in our charge limit in a couple hours. But let's go check into the hotel, and we'll show you some video of Space Center Houston tomorrow.
Do it.
So it is morning in Houston, or actually Webster. We're a couple of miles from the Johnson Space Center, and we are probably going to try to head down and see if we can't see this boardwalk that's nearby. Great night at the Fairfield by Marriott. Nice hotel, good breakfast. We got here last night about 12:30, so I didn't get some stats, but it was 297 miles here, and our efficiency on this trip ended up being 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, which when you have a couple hundred miles of 75-mile-an-hour freeway, that'll happen. We're coming to you from the future. We figured we'd get some footage inside the Space Center Houston here, the Johnson Space Center Visitor Center, for our road trip video, but I got too much footage, so we're just going to show you a little bit of a montage. We were just going to do like B-roll because we couldn't bring the camera and the audio equipment in, so it's all video off of my phone, and the sound's probably not going to be that great, but I got so much that we're just going to put all of that into its own separate video.
So much cool stuff.
But here are some highlights of what our stop here at Space Center Houston before we get back into the road trip.